let us study about a vector standard template library in C++. We have studied about array container. Array container is a static sized array. It is a static sized array, meaning when you define an array like this, array of int comma 5 and a variable name a1, the size of this array is fixed. Okay, the size of the array is fixed, right. So, this is static, this cannot be changed. Okay. Whereas, vector, for vectors, right, you can have dynamic array, you can change the size of the array whenever you want. Okay. So, in C++, vector is a dynamic array with the ability to resize itself automatically when an element is inserted or deleted. Okay. So, we do not assign any size here, that is why programming becomes much easier when you use vectors. That is why vector is more powerful among all the standard template library functions what we have. Okay. So, because it is dynamic size array, you need not worry about size in the program. Okay. So, it is part of STL, right. Vector is defined as the vector class template which contains its implementation and some useful member functions, and this is included in vector header file. So, you have to include vector, like arrays we have to include vector like this. Okay. What is the syntax of this vector? Vector, the keyword vector and the type t and the variable name v1, you can give the variable name v1. Okay. So, where t is the type of elements in the vector. So, one example could be vector of int v1. It is this is means you are creating an array, dynamic size array with the name v1. You can access the elements using v1. So, v1 of 0 means first element, v1 of 2 means third element, like this you can access, right. The difference between array class and vector class is array class is static in size, vector class is dynamic in size. We do not, when you are defining a vector, we are not giving the size of the vector. So, it is same as your dynamic size array. See this, how do we declare and initialize values in a vector? Okay. So, the default initialization is the same, vector, the type int and the variable name v1. This is default declaration. You are not assigning any value, you are just declaring here. You are just declaring here. So, this is size is unlimited. Whatever values you want to insert, you can insert. You want to delete, you can delete them. There is no problem about the size of the vector. Okay. But if you want to have some size, if you want to give some size to a vector, then you have to assign and initialize both. Declaration and initialization both can be done in a single statement with the second syntax. What is that? You give here vector, you give int, okay, v1 of, you tell the size 10 elements and values 0. Okay. So, what I am trying to do here? I am trying to create a vector of type integer, variable name is v1, right. How many items I want in this v1, how many elements I want to store, that size I am giving 10, and what should be the default value, that also I can give it here in a single line. See, this declaration you are just declaring it, you are not assigning any value. So, this is flexible enough, but if you want to restrict its size, you can go for the second syntax, that is the vector, the type, the variable name, the size of number of elements you want, and what should be the default value also can be mentioned here. Okay. This is second one, right. Third one, if you want to assign values, in the program itself using initializer list, how we do that? Same, vector of int, then vector name v1 equal to, in flower bracket you can give 1 2 3 like this, okay, equal to flower bracket 1 2 3, same as array, but in array you are giving here size also. In vector we need not give size, just give the data type. Okay. Vector, the data type, variable name equal to flower brackets, you can give the values, right. Or else Same like arrays what we are doing there, we can even give like this, vector int v1 without equal to, you would give double flower bracket 1 2 3 like this. See here, not flower, here it is round brackets, like this also you can give. See the syntax here, round bracket in flower bracket v1 v2 v3 close and close. So these are different ways you can declare and initialize a vector. Okay. The second case, if you see, we are limiting the size here to 10. First and third declarations it is unlimited, it can increase and decrease the size accordingly. That is why vector is very powerful standard template library what we have, right. So let us see some vector operations how we do. So the first one is at, same thing. See, I have declared a character vector here, vector char v equal to a c f d z, some values I have given here, right. So how do you print the values? You can even use the indexing, you can give a of 2. So if you give a of 2, it will give you f as the value. Okay. The array indexing also works here for vectors also. You can directly use this subscript, the vector name, variable name, and you can give the indexing, it will give the value. Or you can use at function. Okay, you can use at function, right. So v dot at of 2. So in vector v, what is the value at index 2? That is f. Okay, so this is same is applicable for array, is same here also for vectors. Whatever we use for array, same is used for vectors as well, like this, v dot at of 2. Okay. So this is how we access the elements. We have to include header file vector. We have to include the header file vector, or you can use this standard header file which contains all those header files, IO stream, vector, array, string, whatever you want, everything is there in this, right. That is why instead of including 4 or 5 header files, you can include just the first header file, hash include bits / stdc dot h. This if you include, all the header files are included in this, or else you have to include IO stream separately and vector separately. So the first vector operation is accessing elements which can be done using subscript operator or at operator. Next, updating elements. How do you update elements, right? If you want, if there is a vector here already, a character vector with me, I want to change the value of small f to capital F, same thing, you can use v dot at of 2 is equal to capital D. Okay. This will point to that location, and that location value updating to D, or else you can even give like this, v of 2 equal to D. Same like we do for arrays, normal arrays, whatever we do, we can update the elements like this directly. See, vector char v equal to, some elements are given, v of 3 equal to D. So this becomes capital D, v dot at of 2 equal to F. So this becomes capital F, and you can print them and see. So updating elements is very easy. Third one, traversing. You want to traverse the elements of the vector. You do not know how many elements are there, right? For that we have to use the function size. For traversing over the elements, if you want to print all the elements of the vector, you should know the number of elements in the vector. Only then you can use for loop. But since we do not know, it is dynamic array, you have to use the function size. Okay. So to iterate through this range, we can use a loop and determine the size of the vector using vector size method, right. So what is the, see, I have defined a character vector here, character vector char v equal to a b c d e f z. Then for I equal to 0, I less than v dot size, I less than v dot size, I plus plus, print v of I. So using this v dot size function, you can access, you can traverse the elements of the vector. Okay. The next function is inserting elements. How do you insert elements into a vector? Already there is a vector here, char v equal to afd. If you want to insert elements, right, you have to use the function push back, push underscore back. Okay. Push underscore back if is the function which will insert the elements at the end of the vector. Okay. If you write like this, there is a character vector afd, and if I write v dot push underscore back z, So, what happens in this vector V, it will add the element z also, along with this a of d, z also will be added into the vector, right. Otherwise, if you want to insert at some location, pushback will insert the element at the end only, this will insert at the end only, but you want to insert at some position, some location you want to do that, you have to do it using insert function. We have to do that using insert function. See, v dot insert, where do you want to insert? Begin plus 1, that is index 1 I want, from beginning first index I want to insert, and character C I want to do it like this. Okay. You can give a number like this 1 comma C. So, at index 1 C will be inserted. So, the list will become A, C, F, D. Okay. C is inserted at location 1. So, if you want to insert an element at a particular location, you have to use insert function. If you want to insert element at the end, you have to use pushback function, right. Then the next one, deleting elements in a vector. How do you delete element in a vector? So, there are 3 functions here, in fact 2 functions. So, to delete the last element, pop back, use the function pop underscore back. This will delete the last element of the vector. But if you want to delete some certain element, then if you want to delete a certain element, okay. So, see this example here, there is a character vector A, C, F, D, Z. Suppose I want to delete D, I want to delete D from this. First use find function, first use the find function to find this F, get its index, then give that index to erase function, give that index to erase function. That is why, see, one way is using pop back, back will delete the last element of the list of the vector. But if you want to delete a certain element at some certain location, okay, at certain location you want to delete it, then you have to use erase function. Inside erase function I have to use find function. That is why the syntax is v dot erase. Which element should I erase? First you have to find that element. For that, find function, find of v dot begin comma v dot end and the character which I am finding D, like this. So, when you give this, it will this will find the D from the beginning till the end, it will find out where is the D. That location will be given to this E. That location will be erased by that erase function, right. With this logic, you can delete any element from the vector, or otherwise if you want to delete the last element, you can use pop back. To insert it is push back and delete it is pop back function. Next, the last operation on vector, sorting a vector. If you want to sort a vector in ascending order, you have to create a vector, first vector int my vector equal to some numbers are given here. I want to sort this vector. So, what is the logic here? Simply use the function sort of v dot begin from the beginning comma v dot end. That is it, v dot begin comma v dot end. So, this will do in ascending order, this will sort the array in ascending order. If you want in descending order, you have to first sort it and then you have to use the reverse. First sort this array and then use the function reverse, reverse of v dot begin comma v dot end, like this. Okay. So, this is syntaxes here. This will default give in ascending order. If you want in descending order, you have to first sort it, then you do reverse, then it will print the reverse order. So, these are few functions in vector operations. If you summarize, to access elements you can use the subscription or dot at function. Okay. Next, to update elements you can directly do it using assigning values like this, like we do it for normal array variables. To traverse, you have to use the size function, because we do not know the number of elements in the vector. So, we use size function here to know the number of elements in the vector. And inserting element, I can use insert function to insert at some location, or I can use pushback function to insert at the end. Same way for deleting, I can use pop back to delete at the end, or I can use erase. For erase, you have to give the index. To find out the index, you have to use find function. And the last one, sorting. If you want to sort a vector, you can use sort from begin till end, v dot begin and v dot like this. So, this will sort it. If you want in descending order, first to sort it normally, then you do reverse, that will give you the sorted order in reverse order. So, this is about the vector container in standard template library. So, in sequence in STL we have containers, in that sequence containers, in that we have the second one as vectors.